I'm in Marathon Key. So I'm just came back from the post office, and I needed to send off my granddaughter's birthday present because I don't want to be late. So I had thought about possibly getting back to Illinois, but the weather is so bad and they got so much sun, I didn't want to be stuck driving in that. Plus, it's supposed to go down to below 0 temperatures next week. And as we know, I surely cannot be living in that weather in my RV. So I'm going to take a ride here. It's 73. Oops. Truck almost hit me. It's going to be 73 degrees. It is 73 degrees today. And I was taking Danny for a walk this morning, and all of a sudden I was taking Danny for a walk this morning, and all of a sudden it just started pouring rain down on top of me and Danny. We both went running for the camper. I thought, gee, what are we going to do? You know? So I made me some oatmeal. Speaking of oatmeal, last night I made oatmeal banana pancakes. Oh my God. They were awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I'm going to show you how I made them because they were easy and gluten-free. And if you're on the Weight Watchers Purple diet, the only thing in it that was any points was the butter. Yeah. And they were so good, you didn't even need to put syrup on them. I'm not kidding you. Very good. Watch. And then we're going to go to Sombrero Beach. So stay tuned for Sombrero Beach and how to make these awesome pancakes.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live.
New recipe, banana oatmeal pancakes. Yeah. Okay, so what I did was I took some rolled oats, and since I'm only going to make a small amount, so I'm doing using one banana, but I went and I took, it was about a cup. It's about a cup of oats, and I put them in my little blender, and I blended them up into real fine powder like flour. And then I have my banana, and I'm going to start with that. We're also going to add a little baking soda and a pinch of salt, because I'm only going to make a half batch. The batch calls for 2 ripe bananas. Mush them up. I'm only going to use 1 ripe banana. It calls for 1.5 cups of the oats grounded into a flour. Spit it out. Flour consistency. I'm going to use 3/4 of a cup of oats. And then it calls for 2 eggs. I'm going to use 1 egg. And it calls for a teaspoon of baking soda. I'll use a half a teaspoon. And 3 tablespoons of butter. And I will be using 1.5 tablespoons of melted butter. So I've got my bananas all mushed up, very, very ripe. And I blended up the oats in my Hamilton Beach little blender. See? That's all it was. I had to move it around a lot, side to side. I had to move it side to side a lot to get it to keep blending. The recipe that I saw did not include vanilla extract, but I am going to add a little teaspoon of vanilla extract. Probably put a little bit too much in there, but I did. I put a little teaspoon of vanilla extract in there with the banana. This is my vanilla extract that I got from Mexico. And I'm going to put that in there. A half a teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. Baking powder. Don't want to get that mixed up. And it calls for salt, but I don't have salt. I don't use salt. I don't add salt to any of my food. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? You salt eaters are thinking, oh my God, but I am going to put a dash of sea salt in there. You don't need a lot. And the only thing I use sea salt for is to clean my Dutch oven. I use the sea salt to clean my Dutch oven. So I have that in there. And then I'm going to add in my butter. My melted butter. 1.5 teaspoons of melted butter. To get my egg and add my oats. My 1 egg. And then I'm going to measure out my oats. So I just added my 3/4 of a cup of oats, but you have to be very careful putting the oats in there because it's very flyaway. So you want to cover it with your hand if you're using a blender, but I'm not going to use a blender. I'm using my fork to just mix all that stuff up. There we go. So I start heating up my pan at a medium low. I've got everything mixed in here. And I'm going to use my little cup. I'm not going to pour them in there because I'm just going to use my little cup. And I'm going to make, you don't have to grease the pan or anything. We're going to try one pancake. Now it's preheated because you want to put it and have it on a medium low and preheat it. If you don't want to use bananas, if you don't like bananas, you could use applesauce or pumpkin. Instead of bananas, but banana can also be an egg substitute. So I'm going to make this one nice size pancake here. And we're going to let it cook medium low because you don't want them to burn. You want them to cook all the way through. You don't want to cook just on the outside. You know how you get it when you don't see all the bubbles coming through to cook them? So I have my fire on a medium low. I don't know, I guess that's a medium low. It might look like it's higher, but it's medium low. So you don't have to keep adjusting it. I got a little breeze blowing here because I'm going to lower my fan. So just like when you're cooking regular pancakes, you'll wait for it to bubble to know that it's done, and then you'll flip it over. It takes about 3 minutes, and then it'll be less when you flip it on the other side. get some holes in there. See it moving. I don't want to burn the other side either. Oh, I think it's about ready to flip. I don't want to. Oh, look at that. Look how pretty that is. Oh, beautiful. Nice color. They do. They smell really good. Okay, I've got it. Let's flip it over. Oh, yum. It looks good. We'll try it out now. First, I'm going to put another pancake in the pan. I'm going to make a bigger pancake this time. I spread it out a little bit more. But I could have made, I could probably get 5 pancakes out of this half a recipe. Okay. Now let's put a little butter on there. I'm not going to put syrup on there. I try to stay away from the syrup. If anything, I would put more banana on there. Let's see. Yeah, they are so good. Yum. I made them a little bit bigger and I tried to make them thinner. So I probably could get 3 large ones out of a half of a recipe. And if you don't pour them in there, make them too thick, because you want the oatmeal to cook all the way through. These are like the best. These are better than regular pancakes. I would always make these and not have regular pancakes anymore. So actually, this is Sombrero Beach Road, which happens to be right by the Crane Point Hammock Nature Trails that I showed you when I was boondocking at the Kmart on my way down to the Keys. A lot of people ask, well, what's the deal? Can you, stay there? Well, I just passed the Kmart again, and there were 3 RVs that were parked there. I'm not sure if they were parked there overnight, because it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon now. Actually, there's 3 big Class A's and a Class C that I just saw as I turned the corner onto Sombrero Beach, or Sombrero Road, to go to the beach. Now, we came here last year, but I wasn't able to stay at and hang out at this beach because there wasn't enough parking spaces. Full Tiny House was able to find a spot. They stayed here, and I moved on and went to the Fountain Park and spent the day at Fountain Park, which I showed you in one of my previous videos. If you come to this beach, Sombrero Beach, at the right time of year, you have to be really careful for the turtle nesting, because the turtles come up and nest on these beaches. And just like in Fort Myers and other beaches along the Gulf or the ocean, the turtles come up and they make their nests, and turtles are protected in Florida especially. So, you can't be bothering the turtles or their nests. Beautiful houses on the canal. Okay, we're entering the area where the beach is. Hopefully, we'll be able to find a good parking spot close up to one of the beach crossovers. Beautiful. I'm gonna go turn around and find me a parking space where there's a beach crossover right there. Not sure how warm or how cool it is out there. I think we'll just park right over here. Washrooms and volleyball courts. Very nice. I wonder if there's showers in there. Wow, beautiful, isn't it? Wonder how nice the water is. Awesome beach. Very, very windy, but it's gorgeous today. Absolutely beautiful. Plenty of picnic areas. Sitting in the shade in the grassy area. Of course, you got to stay off the dunes. And there's the sand. Sun feels so good. Couple of van dwellers, says I'm sure. They picked a great spot. They fit perfect in the parking spaces, and you could sit all day here and enjoy the beach. And there's a park with, oh, look at the golden arches. But there's a park for the kids. And there is a shower. There are showers over here. I see one or two. It's probably cold water, but still a shower. I walked down to the far end at the beginning when I first came in, and just to show you that there are some spots here, some picnic areas with barbecues. Really nice area before you cross over into the beach. Of course, you can't overnight, so yeah, see the doggies. Lots of doggies here. Big dogs, little dogs. And check out the beautiful homes. Yeah, very nice. I don't know if you can really see how fast the clouds are moving, but they're moving pretty fast because of the wind. And if you watch the palm trees, The wind is blowing pretty strong at this point where this park is, and the sand feels like needles hitting your skin. So, that being said, I didn't stay on the beach very long. And Danny's in the camper. So, I'm going to pull out. I'm going to pull out and make my way back to the homestead where I'm parked. Okay, so I'm making my way back to my rig. There's a large variety of things that you can see here in Key West and in Marathon, and all the keys. Marathon, Isle, Marada, Key Largo, all the keys. There's many, many things to see. It's just a matter of what you like to do and what you like to see. If you like to go to the beach, there's a lot of beaches to go to. If you prefer to go to museums and learn about the ocean life, you know, and marine life, you can do that too. There's plenty of places to go to for that, no matter what island that you choose or key that you choose, because the keys are an island. Each key is an island. They're connected by bridges to each other. So there's plenty of things to do. If you want to go to big restaurants, like that, you can get those big restaurants when you're in Key West. And there's things like Publix, which is a grocery store, and there's campgrounds, and there's IHOP pancake houses, and you know, all kinds of things that you can do in the Florida Keys. You can even have your wedding here. They have wedding events and all kinds of cute little places that are unique that you can stay in. Depends on what your budget is and what you like, you know? So, I've got one more day here in Marathon. Hopefully the weather will be not as windy, and maybe I can do something else here, or I may decide to go ahead and move on. Nomads and travelers have advised there are not a lot of places in the Keys that you can boondock. Now, there may be some secret places that people don't wish to share, and that's understandable, because they might be private property that people have been gracious enough to say, hey, you can park here if you'd like, or they might be places that they don't want to see become abused by other travelers, and then when they return, they're unable to, you know, utilize them. So, and that's maybe you'll try that recipe that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Have a great day, everybody, and I hope you'll join me for my next video, hopefully still while I'm in the Keys. Safe travels.
No, really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down.